If you are a bold and adventurous music enthusiast, and if you're a modcast regular, I know you have to be. If that's you, you are in for a treat right now. Not a trick, I promise. Big welcome back to the modcast from Rex and Christina of the most excellent power pop label, Big Stir Records. And this season, Big Stir has a pop-tastic Halloween album for you called Chilling, Thrilling Hooks and Haunted Harmonies. Besides being a fun listen, it is in part, I think, a great tribute to not just Halloween, but to classic 60s Disneyland Halloween albums, such as Chilling, Thrilling Sounds of the Haunted House. But I will let them tell us all about that. Welcome, Rex and Christina. Thanks for being back.
Thank you for having us.
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes, it tis the season.
Hmm.
Is this your favorite holiday?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. Has it
Yeah.
always been that growing up, or did it just, it seems Halloween's become more popular over the years.
was always popular where I grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
But we also had Devil's Night the night before, which was, yeah.
What's Devil's Night?
Yeah.
Oh, people egg houses and toilet paper trees and set little fires. It's not something you'd want to experience.
They go hard in Detroit. And I'm from West Virginia. I grew up in the woods, like literally in the woods. So I have
Okay.
these kind of like, oddball witchy vibes that have pervaded my life the whole time. And trick-or-treating was incredible. Because we were in the sticks, dirt roads, and we would get a cluster of people together and we would go out and under the
Yeah.
moonlight, and the high school kids would be lurking in the woods trying to mess with us, but you know nice wind, little dried leaves skittering across that dirt road, and the vibes were incomparable. So it's kind of stuck with me ever since, I think.
You make your own costumes, or did you get the store-bought costumes that were so popular then?
Oh my mom took care of us, that it, if it, like you'd get the poncho that had like the picture of Luke Skywalker or whatever on it. And she was like, no, I'm making the Tatooine robes for you. I'm getting the
Oh,
pattern. We were
well,
pretty,
that's cool.
My mom made a Cousin It costume for me.
Oh, yeah.
and she
That's
could still
great.
do it. Look.
I remember my first Halloween costume was from the store, and it was, do you remember the TV show Space
Oh,
1999?
of course. Yeah.
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 1999 then seems so far in the future.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that was great. And so here you are and have a Halloween album that celebrates all these things, going back to those fun kid memories, but also the movies and the different things. And I was intrigued. I had read a post from you online, Rex, about kind of how you used to make mixtapes and
Yeah.
things. And so you grew up with that love of putting together your own album,
Yeah.
obviously. It landed you where you are now.
It's not
And
used to. I
so,
still do it, and my kids and I kind of collaborate on
yeah.
the modern ones that we do. Yeah.
So tell me about how that led the two of you to doing this whole album, and how you still do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, we did a, well, we both, yes, Halloween is probably our most favorite holiday. And we did a radio show, um,
Yes. Yeah.
like a few years ago where we just were in character and played Halloween music for
Yeah.
like 5 episodes, I think it
It
was.
was 5 episodes, and
Wow.
and what actually kind of happened was we were doing a radio show at the time, and we came up to Halloween, and I said to Christina, "Hey, this is going to be really easy because I since the '90s have been making the first cassette, and then burned CDs, and I've been making these compilations, these for that was first for Halloween party background music, and it was a combination of the songs that evoked Halloween for me, and then eventually my kids, and little sound bites and things from classic Halloween media, and a lot of it was from those old like kids haunted house LPs, and the Disneyland one you mentioned, and Boris Karloff narrates The Legend of
Oh,
Sleepy
right.
Hollow. It's a lot of Vincent Price things. They were just a neat little mid-century. You're a kid, latchkey kid, probably. You're at home. You put this thing on. You scare the hell out of yourself, and that sets the Halloween vibe. So it was that and little sound bites from movies. And I did this year after year after year after year. And I said to Christina, for this radio show, we'll just get some, new music from the artists that are on Big Stir because a lot of them are into this whole Halloween thing too, more than we realized. I mean, this
Yeah.
they came out of the woodwork for this thing, and it was amazing. Um, and some other like, newer indie artists that are doing Halloween stuff, and we'll just splice it in there with my old Halloween compilations. And that's not what happened. We ended up like scripting these whole audio adventures with us trapped in a haunted house.
Yours was Count Jangula, and I was Madame Kartoshka,
Yeah, I was
which means
doing
little potato.
yeah, I was doing it and continue to do on this record, like Joe Flaherty's Count Floyd from SCTV, like,
Mhm.
oh kids, it's gonna be a really scary show. We're going to have Dr. Tongue's 3D House of Stewardesses.
And I was gifted psychic healing.
And that's just like a sample of it. We did all this
Yeah.
crazy stuff, and we did have artists and DJs and friends of ours send in little side bits that were scripted, and it was so much work that it killed the radio show. I mean, we
We
we,
stopped after
we
that.
stopped the radio. We were like, that's as far as it's gonna go.
It's still on Mixcloud.
Yeah, you can find it if you look for the Big Stir Radar
Oh, I
Hour.
will.
Yeah. Um,
I will find it. If you're okay, I'll put a link to it so people can check it out.
sure,
Absolutely.
sure. I
Thank
mean,
you.
if they
So,
dare.
is this kind of where what's called on the album, I think the Pepper Ghost Players?
Yes.
Is that
Pepper's
that
Ghost. Yeah.
same idea? Because there's like intros to all the songs, sort of little bits and skits, between them in different genres. I think there's like a Scooby-Doo type themed
There is
one
a
and
Scooby-Doo.
so on.
Yeah,
So that
Rosemary's
was that same
Baby,
idea came out
Twilight
of that.
Zone. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is when we hit on this idea, we were this whole thing, and it just really needs to be said, is deeply in collaboration with Michael Simmons from
Yeah.
Sparkle Jets
Musical genius.
UK, musical genius, who's done a lot of work with the Armoires, does more for Big Star Records as a label than anyone will ever know. I mean, we always try to say this, but no one's ever going to appreciate how much he does for the label. And when we started this idea, he's a big nerd for that sort of mid-century kids horror thing. And when I say nerd, I mean like we've obviously self-identified as nerds about this stuff. So
Right.
that's the highest compliment. And the first thing we thought of was chilling, thrilling sounds of the haunted house and that iconic intro, which Christina, um, you were a bold and courageous person, afraid of nothing. Do it.
You are a bold and courageous person, afraid of
High
nothing.
on a hilltop near your home. So and we just thought it's going to be really cool if it starts that way. And meanwhile, we threw it out to all of the artists on the label, having no idea how many of them were going to be into it.
Yeah.
So the songs are coming in, and we're hatching this kind of framework for it, and it includes the artwork, which is it's Michael Simmons' design work that makes it look so much like that original LP. But that's also my daughter Ridley did the drawing,
Oh,
where it's
nice.
a Rickenbacker and a Vox amp instead of the haunted house,
Right.
and the sort of iconic Raven there. Um, and I was just like, Christina, you're going to be able to nail that voice. It's Laura Olsher is the voice actor, just so everyone knows who we're ripping off. Um, although she does Leota Toombs as well.
Very bad,
Yeah,
very
the
bad.
the the bits between the songs, nothing to take away from the songs, but they're just as fun and as great as anything and so enjoyable when you're just kind of listening in the background and then, these things are spliced in. It makes it a lot of fun and
Yeah.
We wanted
having the
to.
different genre things in there is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and we really wanted that to, and it turned out we thought we'd maybe introduce each side of the LP that way, but then it was sort of like, oh, well, then there's some artists that we didn't do one of these sketches for, and we try to integrate their
Right.
songs and their topics into the sketches. So we spent a whole day as like a writer's room, voice acting troupe, and
Oh,
sound
cool.
design, and put it in there for all of them, and it just did such a magical job of connecting everything.
And we cracked each other up too.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so fun, all the ideas going back and forth. And
Ruh-roh.
and so, and so many of the artists are fans of this kind of stuff
Right.
too. And they just like they really, really appreciated that. I mean, we had
Right.
a whole
You
bunch of
had
them here in
quite the
a
turnout when you
yeah,
asked your label artists. I don't know how many bands are like 20 plus, more than 20, gotta be
21. Yeah.
21. So they all turned out, and it's fantastic. The Corner Laughers, who I've loved for a really long time, have a new song on there. And
Hmm.
then you have this knack for being able to get past legends
Yeah.
to work with you and to do that. And you've got Graham Parker
Graham
and
Parker.
Sponge Tones,
Yes.
and then Strawberry Alarm Clock. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that because this is brand new.
Well, they contacted us through someone who works with the Circle.
Daniel Costin,
Oh
who does
yeah,
a lot
right.
of
Because you
great
did the
work. Yeah.
Circle last, was
Hmm.
it last year that that came out?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a Halloween single they wanted to put out just as we had finished sequencing the album.
Yeah. And
Of course.
let's be really clear on this. Because between the three of us, and especially Michael Simmons, we had created an entire CD version, four-sided LP version, and streaming version, all
Already.
timed out, for everything.
Wow.
And so it was in the can. And then here comes Strawberry Alarm Clock, who we would have wanted to work with anyway. So it's like five of the original members, and they're right
Yeah.
here in Los Angeles.
And
And
it's a Halloween single, and we
it,
couldn't not put it on there.
Right.
You know?
so we're signing contracts with them at the same time as we're tearing the album apart and putting it back together. Uh, we noticed when listening to this album in the Bandcamp listening party last night that there's something that kind of magical that happened because of this, though, which is that like in order to save our sanity and make our deadlines, we had to put their song very close to the end of it, so we weren't like recreating the
Right.
entire thing. So it's like the penultimate track. And we just noticed that it also is this song that really wraps up all these sort of themes that have developed over the entire album. And we kind of,
We
got
got
goosebumps about
goosebumps.
that.
And Simmons too. Michael Simmons
Yeah.
did
I
too.
mean, we just were like, oh my God, that's supernatural serendipity.
Magical.
Gotta love
Um,
it when a plan comes together.
it wasn't the plan, man, but it came together anyway.
Yeah. Well,
And then
that's
there
great.
And then there's
Uh,
a little song at the end of it that is, the Peppers Ghost Players, who, is the acting troupe that does all the sketches.
right.
But we made them into an actual, quote unquote band, which is the three of us, Christina and Michael Simmons and myself, with this loopy song called Spread My Ashes in the Haunted Mansion, um, which is something people actually do if you aren't aware. I mean,
Really? I
a lot of,
wasn't.
there's a
It's
whole,
code A. I think it's
yeah.
announced over
A
the
lot of
walkie-talkies.
yeah, a lot of people like the cast members, will
Yeah.
say, "Uh-oh, we got a code A," and that means someone has been attempting to or succeeding in spreading human
Wow.
remains at the request of the departed
Yeah.
in various places in Disney parks.
By the way.
It's not legal. We don't endorse this, and we kind of missed a trick because we made this great track that should be like something Disney would jump on, except for that it
They don't want to
Right.
encourage.
seems to advocate something that they don't want. But the feel and the vibe was really there, and it starts off with Christina singing, "When life is oppressive, depressive, and bleak, it could be cathartic to let out a shriek, and seek sweet solace in a scary story, a madcap, macabre memento mori." And we thought that was what we were exploring, and all these different bands were exploring.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we want to be scared? Why is there a fun aspect to being scared? And how does that kind of relate to the whole history of rock and roll, and especially this kind of little flashpoint around the late 60s and early 70s? So
It
we're
does,
really
the album does have sort of a history of rock and roll to it because there's so many different songs and styles, and there's some gothy things and obviously some more power pop
Mhm.
and garagey and dark
Dubby.
and light and yeah, it covers it all.
I mean, I think one of the things that really, I mean, you do have artists that got started in the 60s, got started in the 70s, got started in the 80s, got started in the 90s.
Yeah.
The real trick is the Sparkle Jets UK song, which is called Eyeball Eater from Outer Space. This is a song that was written around 1958 by Susan West's father,
Susan,
of
who
the band.
of the
Yeah,
band.
Um,
really.
and
Well,
it
that's
was,
great.
he made an acetate of it, and it was an attempt, it was like a cash-in attempt on Purple People Eater and a little bit before Monster Mash, maybe. And he passed away a little while ago, but he had, uh,
Always encourage them
yeah, he
to
always wanted
do
them
a
to
cover of
do
it.
this song, and they fished out the acetate. And if you go and look up the single version of "Eyeball Eater from Outer Space" by Sparkle Jets UK, there is a rip of the acetate is the B-side,
Oh,
and you can
that's
hear the
cool.
original version for the first time since it was recorded around 1958, in addition to the Sparkle Jets version.
Yeah.
So yeah, the history is all there. It's that just a couple little pieces of happenstance meant that like we're kind of covering just about every kind of take on the spooky stuff that rock and rollers have done since they got
Yeah.
started, and it's really cool.
And Mr. Sparkle Jets, Michael Simmons, obviously all over this. He helped with the design, right?
Yep,
For
that's
the
correct. Yeah,
among other things, I'm sure. But I wanted to talk about that because I don't have a copy of the album here, but there is something unique inside when you
that's
open it
correct.
up, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm going to open
it's
up
a
the pumpkin
board
spice
game.
bird. Yeah, I'm going to open this up right here. This, as I mentioned before, this is an unsellable copy of the LP because a jack-o'-lantern rotted on it. So it's the pumpkin spice
Not the
edition.
bow, right?
Yeah, a jack-o'-lantern that was carved in September because we needed it for our promo stuff. But yes, first of all, yeah, it's two of these eerie green vinyl discs. Look like that. Um, and
Wow,
this
very cool.
and this opens up to be an actual, yes, it's a playable board game. Um,
Oh yeah, that's
and
great.
and every band and every song and every basically every monster that's referred to by the artist, like if Splang and Splitsville are singing about Frankenstein, he's there. Steve Stokel's singing about wanting to be a vampire. The vampire is part of it.
And they come with little playing pieces that are like fidget toys, but they stand on the board game itself. Here's an alien.
Yeah, it's the first 100 pieces, the first 100 orders, which are down to about 50 by now or less, will come with these little bags that have a die, a Halloween die, a little bespoke big
That's
spoke
really
big sticker
cool.
logo. And you can play it. If you don't make it in time to get these, you can play this with a regular die, and we recommend like
Skittles.
Skittles or M&Ms,
M&Ms.
something from your trick or treat bag. As
Yeah,
long as colors, you can keep track of it. But yeah, and this was designed by the great Joseph Champness. And yeah, it goes in sequence. As you go down the board, the first thing you'll land on will be the Librarians with Hickeys track, Ghoul You Want, and it'll say, the Librarians with Hickeys help you get the ghoul you want, go forward 3 spaces.
oh
And
cool.
so it literally is a play along thing. It is in sequence and in the story of the album. And they're shipping now, and we just can't wait for people to see
Yeah.
them. And because I think to a great extent, like, people have to kind of see this to really get what
Well,
what it is.
well, it's
Uh,
really cool to have created not just an album that people can listen to and enjoy, but it's an immersive event, like you can actually do something while you're listening and you kind of want to dive into it even more at that point.
yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, between that and the little story bits that kind of keep pulling you back in, we want it to be anything other than a seasonal cash in or just a bunch
Right.
of songs from the vault. We've done that. We did a really good record of like back catalog stuff, that was a digital only release 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because again, our artists are into this stuff, so they write songs about this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but we wanted this to be like absolutely 100%, an immersive experience and also totally new stuff. So there's literally no previously released songs. There are a few remixes and remakes, But that was and also no covers. I mean, the idea here was
Yeah,
this, a
right,
new how, except for the one that's a cover of a song that never came out, which we just talked about.
Right.
right.
But yeah, we really wanted it to be like the new Halloween canon, like something people can pull from for their Halloween shows and parties for years to
Yes.
come.
Yeah.
That was
I
really
have I have to be kind of careful because I'm going to play one song that I really like, if that's okay. And that I'm going to start the way you start. I love that song by Librarians with Hickeys.
great. So
Um,
good.
but I have to be careful because this is not the Modcast's annual Halloween show.
Right.
If you know Ken, DJ Ken does a
Yes.
Halloween show. He's done 18 of them of the 19 years that the podcast has been going. And they're fantastic shows. So he will love this, I'm sure. And he will probably be playing one or two things from it when that show comes out, right on Halloween, probably. So people can look
Fantastic.
forward to that too. What can we look forward to from Big Stir? I mean, this was big. You must be going to take a little bit of a breath and ride out the rest of the year, maybe, or maybe
Oh,
not. Maybe it's
no,
all engines go, right?
we've got a fantastic release coming up from Gold Needles.
Yeah, we'll have one more release, and it will be from the Gold Needles who are on this. In fact, the album is kind of a clue to some of the stuff that's coming up,
Cool.
because the forthcoming stuff will include the Gold Needles, their first album with us. It'll, of course, be Strawberry Alarm Clocks, big return with an album is coming up. The fact that there's the first new stuff from the Corner Laughers for a while, that might be a hint too.
Yay.
Um, so yeah, there's some of the artists that are on here, and the Jack Rubies as well.
Right.
So that little cluster of artists from the album is a big clue as to what's going on. And for people who are fans of Splitsville, they will who are on here as well, they will know the band's lineage includes another very well-known band. Um, we also coincidentally have the word berry in the title,
Greenberry
the
Woods.
Greenberry Woods.
Oh, right.
And that collaboration with those fine folks from Baltimore is going to continue in the next year too. And it will be a very fun year for Big Stir Records with the Greenberry Woods and the Strawberry Alarm Clock and the
Yeah.
Cornerberry Laughers, which sounds like a cereal. Um,
You can do a breakfast cereal album next
the
year.
Jack Berry Rubies, or the Jack Ruby Berries. I don't know. It'll just be yeah.
Well, well, that's very great. I appreciate you taking the time and talking about the album. It's fantastic. People should go out and get it if they can get there. You still have vinyl copies available, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do. I mean, we will probably not run out of vinyl copies for a while. There's just the first 100 that come with the game
Yeah,
piece pack. That's the rush right there.
right.
But it's such an impressive package, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
Anyway, that you're gonna want the vinyl of it. But there is a CD edition as well, and as of October 10th, it'll be streaming everywhere, so you can, you know, get into the vibes and realize how much you need that physical copy.
Right. Well, I will put a link to it up on the Modcast homepage at MrSuave.com, and everybody will be
Yay!
able to find that. And of course, just look up Big Stir Records, and people will find it that way too. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and happy Halloween.
Happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween.